we will get started with our December 10th, 2024 council meeting minutes. And I will ask the clerk to call the roll. Call it in order, please.
Dr. Lee,
Here.
Mr. Reynolds,
Here.
Miss Mapp,
Here.
Miss Shinholster,
Here.
Mr. Chambers.
Here.
We do have a quorum present, so if you will, please stand with me for the prayer and pledge. And I do see Reverend Fraley sitting off in the very far back tonight, and I'm going to ask him if he'd stand to the podium and give us a prayer tonight. Thank you, sir. Preachers are always ready.
Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
Certainly this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. God is our refuge, and God is our strength. He's our very present helper in the time of a need. We come before you this evening, O God, looking unto thee as being the author and the finisher of our faith, the giver of all good and perfect gifts. We come asking thy presence to be amongst us this evening, O God, and that whatever business is at hand, we pray that all things be done to glorify thee. Bless each individual and family in this city of Milledgeville. In your name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, thank you, Reverend Fraley, for stepping up and rendering us the prayer on tonight. So at this time, we do have a full agenda for public comments tonight. I'm going to ask that you make sure you yield to your 3 minutes and 3 minutes only. The clock will be set behind me, so as you see the clock ticking down, wind up your presentation on that which you come to speak about tonight. So are we ready with the clock, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the first speaker we have tonight is Mr. Kim Carver. Mr. Carver, if you will, come to the podium and state your name and address for the records, please.
My name is Kim Carver. My property is at 1101 North Jefferson Street, Milledgeville, Georgia. And my journey started actually 5 years ago when the city of Milledgeville had a water leak inside my parking lot. The city came out, dug it up, fixed the water leak, and was supposed to come back and fix my parking lot. Met with Mr. Bill out there and we discussed the area that needed to be fixed. Never got fixed. A year later, the water leak happened again. They came out and they dug it up again and was coming back out to fix my parking lot. And in that time frame also, the property next door to me, which is owned by the city, was surveyed and learned that my property actually extended 4 feet into their parking lot. I've addressed a letter several times, brought it down here numerous times. I don't know how many times I've tried to meet with the mayor. And unfortunately, we've never been able to meet because there's something always came up. I have met with Hank twice, once here in the courthouse, once at the property. I've been assured that we were going to get it fixed. My letter was addressed in June 1st, 2021. It's 3 years ago, or 3.5 years ago, out of fact. Still has not been fixed. You know, my time is valuable just like y'all's is. I don't have time to run down here to the courthouse all the time to try to find out when you're going to fix my property. I didn't dig it up. Y'all dug it up. Y'all fixed the water leak. Water leak was on your side of the line. There is no water going into my property. So I'm having to come down here and spend more of my time. And I got copies of the letters that I've sent. I've actually hand delivered one to Hank. And, you know, we're getting nothing done. I want to know why. You want me to pay my taxes? And then that's what I pay taxes for. But nothing gets done. Why? Anybody got an answer? If I go out to Hank's house and dig up the driveway, don't fix it, Cindy's going to be pissed off at him. So where am I at? Any answers?
First of all, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I know that I don't know anything about this. And we don't know everything that goes on by any means, and the Lord knows I don't want to know.
Well, I understand
all
that.
the day-to-day
Yeah.
happenings, but you know, I don't see, I don't know, you know, if Hank or anybody can speak to it, but, or if they want to at this point in time, but I don't see any problem. What was the address on North Jefferson?
Yeah. 1101 North Jefferson Street.
Okay, Mr. Chambers, his time is up, and let me yield the floor on that. He has been instructed to deal with Mr. Jordan specifically. I
Okay,
have given him that information to contact Mr. Jordan specifically.
right.
So he has not. He was more than welcome to come and speak and address us in a live
Excuse me.
opening. And so your time is up, Mr.
I understand my
Carver.
time's up,
So
but I've
if you
been
will,
spending
please
5
if
years
you
doing
will,
this right
please
here.
take your seat and then address Mr. Jordan for your concerns on that. Thank
So
you.
I have. No, my time's not up.
Yeah,
Because
sir,
I've spent many
sir.
times coming down here.
Mr.
Whoa.
Carver, wait a minute.
Whoa.
It should be order in here.
Okay,
And
we're
if
done.
you want to address to
You know
Mr.
what?
Jordan, address it to
Welcome
Mr.
come
Jordan.
speak to me.
Yes, please, thank you.
Not right now, but you can come to my office as you were instructed to do.
Where's your office?
115 East Mac.
You in Walter's office?
Well, he's in my office.
Okay, your office.
Thank you, Mr. Carver.
Sure.
You have to call my office and make an appointment.
I
I'm in
have called you?
Excuse me, don't interrupt me. I'm in court in the morning, and I have a deposition after that. If you'll call me though, as I've told the mayor, we'll set up an appointment, and we'll try to get this resolved.
For your information, I have called Tina. I have spoke to Tina. I went over everything with Tina, and nobody called me.
Thank you,
Okay?
Mr. Carver.
Well, call me,
All right.
okay?
So the next person we have up, and
Okay.
as I stated, please adhere to your 3 minutes and stick to your topic. The clock is running behind me, and once the clock is done, please take your seat. We do not engage in public input for various reasons, okay? What we do like to do is hear from you during this particular time, is that we hear from everybody that comes to speak to us, okay? And that way we get everybody's comments in place. All right, the next person is Mr. Tom, is this Stelling? All right, Mr. Stelling, please take the podium.
Hello, my name is Tom Stelling, address 205B Pine Needle Road in Milledgeville. I've lived here for about 2.5 years, and it is a lovely town. I moved here from the Atlanta area primarily because less expensive cost of living. The rents were less expensive, and it seemed like, you know, everything was. It was very difficult for me to find a place to rent simply because there just isn't a whole lot of housing here in Milledgeville, and there is a demand, you know, with the colleges and all that going on. So I realized that. But, you know, it took me about 10 weeks to finally find somewhere, and it was a stressful time. It really was. Now, I was happy to find it, and I'm reasonably happy where I am now, but I have to admit, it started me thinking about those that are less fortunate than I am. How are they doing out there? And it seems like as we're going into the winter, all of a sudden, maybe it's just me, perhaps others have seen it too, there seems to be not a huge homelessness problem here, but there is some homeless in our town and in our county. And kind of what I was hoping was, I don't know whether this exists right now or not, but it would be wonderful if we had a warming station or something when it, you know, gets below 40 degrees, and unfortunately we're forecast to have a really awful winter this year. So that would be a truly wonderful thing if we could do that. I'd be glad to volunteer my time and help out. Is there someone in the city council or somebody that I should interact with along those lines?
Mr. Stillings, we try to address that because we don't have a homeless shelter and we don't have warming stations. What we normally do is we'll reach out to churches when we know that the weather is going to be extreme temperatures outside, and we get the churches to open up their doors. But we would be more than happy to work with you if you would just leave your information with the clerks, and we'll reach out to you.
Okay, great. And I've got 55 seconds left.
Yeah,
I just
go
wanted
ahead,
to
use
thank Councilwoman Mapp for sending out the postings that she does on Nextdoor. It really helps me stay involved with the local situation, and quite honestly, I wouldn't know what's going on if you weren't doing that, so I thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Stevens. And Ms. Mapp does an outstanding job of posting on Nextdoor. I oftentimes watch her with her posts and keeping the community informed.
There was some discussion last week on there. If you'll go back and look at some of the postings that were on there last week, there was some discussions about the same thing, and two people, I'm trying to think of the name of them right now, but I can't think, but two people mentioned two different places that had just recently opened up for that very same thing. So go back and look on your
Last month?
yeah, in November. That was when they talked about it. But there's two places that are open. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that comment, Ms. Shinhouser. The next person we have up is Ms. Kathy Cummings. Ms. Cummings, if you will, come up and state your name and address for the records as well.
Ms. Cummings, you had something to say about that too as well?
We're on to
You want me to start? Don't
Yeah,
start my
just
clock yet.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Your clock is about to start, so start your comments.
Okay,
what you come
okay, I
for,
go
okay?
ahead. But on there, I do have pictures of the homeless person, like maybe 2 or 3 of them. I put it on Facebook, and today actually I ordered a tent for one of them, because one of them is living behind my building of business, and it is so sad that he plug in my electricity and everything, keep it warm, and his radio, but I told him I am going to bring that tent back today. And so if it is some places, it's another guy, they got a tent too. I mean, we just been coming together, but I really want to work on that too as well. And if I can, I would like to open up my business as a woman with some assistance with the community, for a woman.
Thank you.
Okay, let me use my time for my alcohol license. Okay, Kathy Cummings, I live at 1639 Valley Circle. I have an issue with my alcohol license. Okay. Initially, when I opened up my business here, I opened up a community. It's like a exclusive entertainment center here. I had a hard time opening up. I had a meeting with Mr. Griffin. I went to the code office, and I got my license, but then I had to. After I got my license, then I had to stop business, and then I had to get my inspection from the fire department. So that building have never had an inspection done in the last, I think, 2002. So I had to go through and fix everything in that building. And my initial, I was going to go through the state. And Mr. Griffin told me that, no, we're going to handle everything here. Now I have did my alcohol license, and it put me on a hold. I can't even operate hardly down. I'm doing children events. I love children. Actually, my location is the Baldwin County location for Toys for Tots. But my thing is, I don't want to keep being on hold. I done passed the captain that came down and did my inspection. I spoke with Mr. Williams from the state marshal office in Atlanta. He said that he was shocked that I had to contact him to come down now at a later date. So, but I don't want my paper to sit here long waiting like it waited for me to actually get a business license. So I just want to make sure that my license my paperwork don't get, because I done passed my background check, my paperwork, the packages, everything here, and I got another call that I got to go through the state. I was going initially through the state, right, Mr. Griffin?
I told you that if the building held more than 100 people, it would be required to be covered by the state.
Right.
If it did not, the city could handle it.
Right. My initial, I drove all the way to Atlanta because nobody here in Baldwin County had any information on that location. That location was open, I say illegal, because there's no information on that building that I have now. That's why I had to go through and I lost all my money, and now I don't have any alcohol license. Bam, I'm through.
What's your address?
Well, I'm gonna give you about 3 more minutes because Ms. Shinhouser has started you into another conversation. So go ahead, you got 3 more minutes. Go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah, so I did all this, I went through that building, I had to fix everything for the fire marshal, I met the, Captain Barneswell, I get him confused, Barneswell and Braswell. They came down, he said, I know Miss Cummings gonna fix everything, cause he done worked with me, opened up many, properties, in Baldwin County, and I did. I went through, I had to pay everybody to come there and fix a building that's supposed to have been already fixed, and he said, he was shocked that all the things that didn't have done. I said, well, okay, I'm shocked too, cause they were shocked in Atlanta. They said, you drove all the way here? I said, yeah, because when you're gonna do something, a business, you wanna do it right the first time. So now I was doing it right, and then I got stopped, but only thing is, I just don't want my paperwork to, just sit here and not get, looked at all. I want to be pushed through because now, it's holding me back. I done lost a lot of business. A lot of people want to rent the building, still renting the building, but I want to cover myself with the alcohol license. I don't want anything to come up on my name that's saying like, okay, somebody had some alcohol. I have a contract, I make them sign that there's no alcohol involved. There's no events to be there with alcohol until the license is coming through.
Thank you,
Any
Ms. Cummings.
questions?
We'll, Mr. Griffin, we'll get with Mr. Griffin in reference.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am. Right. So the next person on our list, I know he's gonna go out with a bang. He's gonna take more than 3 minutes, so I'm not gonna even say anything. It's our state rep, Ken Vance. So Mr. Vance, if you will step to the podium.
I don't believe I'm gonna take 3 minutes.
I missed somebody.
I went to Evelyn Wood. She's reading. It's already ticking, so let me get started. In less than my allotted 3 minutes, I come in front of this body where I spent 28 years and about 1,400 meetings to say as your state representative for the last 2 years, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the privilege to serve the city of Milledgeville and Baldwin County in the House of Representatives, the People's House. While there, I, along with Senator Rick Williams and Representative Mac Jackson, we were able to get approximately $23 million for the city and the county, with money to expand the nursing program at Georgia College, which the state sorely needs more nurses, and additional operational monies for the care and operation of the state-owned buildings at GMC. This will bring added hotel motel tax dollars and splosh revenue. While there, I was working on sewer grants for the city through the Department of Community Affairs. Thank you, ma'am, Ms. Sonia. And I hope that my successor can continue that work. That said, I've served with all but 3 of you, Ms. Mapp, Mr. Reynolds, and Mayor Copeland. I've served with the rest of y'all. But I want to wish the city of Milledgeville future success and the good Lord's blessings on each and every one of you. Thank you all for all that you do. God bless the city of Milledgeville, and God bless each and every one of you. Merry Christmas, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, State Rep Vance, and I served with you for 7 years at the GMC. So we have served together.
Right, but not up here where it was.
So not in the fight, huh? But in another fight. Thank you, sir. Okay. So I skipped a person, and I'm sorry. I was looking down and looked directly at State Representative Vance's name. We have next Miss Kelly Smith. So Miss Kelly, if you would come up and give your name.
Okay. Hello, my name is Kelly, and I live at 421 McIntosh Street, and I'm actually here for the housing issue as well, but since we've already kind of discussed that a little bit, I thought I'd just provide a little bit of my personal experience with it because I've actually been homeless in Milledgeville before, and I do know that there's not many options for women in shelters in this area. There were, at one time there was for men, I believe Maranatha, but when I was looking around for myself, I was rejected because I had kids. And the closest place I think was Atlanta. So I don't know if you guys have solutions for that, like, or anywhere like a warming center or anything that could help with that kind of situation. But I just know from firsthand experience that it was really tough. And a lot of it was because of high rent costs. Because when I moved here a few years ago, I had a lot of issues trying to find a place to rent because, for one, a lot of it was not available because of college students. And then two, a lot of places want you to make three times the amount of the, for the rent for your income. And that is kind of hard to do in this town. So with one income. But since those were not available to me at the time, like I couldn't find a place to go, it kind of put me in a bad situation, and I ended up losing custody of 2 of my children because of it. So it is kind of personal. I would like to see something done about that to hopefully give shelter to some of these people during the cold months. I mean, I realize that all year long would be great, but during the cold especially, it kind of seems like it needs like some kind of addressing. Like I know when I was living in Warner Robins, there was, I want to say an older school that they turned into a warming center for people when it got really cold, like especially right now in the winter season. And I would think that something like that would help a lot with the growing population of homeless people here, especially since I see a lot of them sleeping downtown, in the pavilion. And there's been, a few that sleep by the, the mini fridge or milli fridge or whatever they call it. Mm-hmm. It's really sad to see people, living in those conditions at any time, but especially when it's really cold outside. So that's really what I wanted to speak about tonight. Was we came here to discuss what could be done about something like that, since there are not a lot of places for people to go. And if you guys have any places we could look into, I'd be willing to donate my time to it too.
Thank you. Certainly, as I stated, make sure we get your name. I have your contact information, so we can always reach out to you as well. This is a topic that we have came across our table on more than once in discussion. So let us get back with you and as soon as possible on this. Okay. Thank you so much for coming forward tonight. All right, so that completes the public comments on tonight. And for those of you all that we stated we would get back with you, or Mr. Jordan stated for you to contact him, it will happen. And likewise, make sure you reach out to us as well. All right, you all have received a copy of the November 26, 2024 council meeting minutes. Are there any corrections that need to be made? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to adopt the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
All right, the motion carries and the minutes are adopted. I have one or two comments I want to make tonight. First and foremost, I don't think we have any Georgia College and State University students here tonight, do we? I think all of them have taken their finals and they've headed for the hills. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, I'm pleased to say my granddaughter decided, she often asks me, Grandma, can I go to work with you tonight? And I would say, no, you'll be bored. So she said, well, I'm going tonight. So Reagan, stand up and wave your hand and let everybody see you. She's a fourth grader and she wanted to come and sit in on the meeting tonight. So I brought her with me. Thank you, Reagan, for coming. Also, what I would like to say, and it's a good opportunity to take the time to say this with such a great council full of people tonight, is that it is the holiday season. And normally we have a problem with this all year long, and that's breaking and entering into automobiles. What I would like to say to each of you tonight is please, 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 they are looking for guns, guns, guns. Lock your personal belongings up in your house. Do not leave them in plain sight in your vehicles. Because whether it's your purse, your cell phones, your wallets, whatever it is that they feel that they can get and break into your vehicle and get something of value, especially your guns, help us out to help you. Help our police department. We're having to do a lot of calls, respond to a lot of calls in reference to breaking and entering, and mostly for guns. By the time they roll them down, they'll come to find out that that's what it is. It was a gun, and they'll find the gun where it was located from Macon in a shooting, whether it was in Gordon in a shooting. But if you will, please help us to help you stay safe this holiday season and every day by making sure that you secure your belongings locked away inside of your house. The other thing I want to mention to council is Mr. Griffin asked everyone to kind of touch bases with him about our December 28th date and our January the 4th date. So if you will, please get back with him so we can secure those dates. I think he's heard from a few of you all. I think Mr. Griffin, you, in our conversation today, you said maybe one or two you had not heard from, but it appeared as if December the 28th might be a pretty good day. I know Mr. Reynolds is going to be honeymoon across the world, a globe. But if you will, please make sure you get back with him ASAP so we can go ahead and put that together before the end of the year. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to bring out tonight other than I just want to make sure I reiterate that about your vehicles and locking them up because many people do listen to us via the internet or YouTube, and so I want to make sure I state that to the community to make sure we take care of that. We'll move along with the agenda. The City of Milledgeville continues to have a strong partnership with our Convention and Visitor Bureau as they work to bring visitors to our city. It has become our tradition to invite Ms. Rebecca Snyder, our Executive Director of the Visit Milledgeville, to come and join us in December to share an update of the activities over the last year. So at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Rebecca if you will take the podium and come share with us your update on Visit Milledgeville.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the chance to be here, especially on what's clearly such a busy evening for you all. So we're going to do our best to make this efficient. As you all know, we have been on contract with the City of Milledgeville since the 1980s. We appreciate your continued investment in our organization and our partnership to be your agency of record to administer what the state of Georgia legislates in regard to hotel motel tax law. So thank you for your continued partnership. As we look ahead to the future, I want to take just a brief moment to kind of talk about what we're seeing in terms of economic trends and future outlook for Milledgeville and Baldwin County. We know that more than 1 million people visit the city of Milledgeville each year, and that generated in the last year $84.9 million in economic impact within our community. The tourism industry here sustains 900 jobs, and we are proud to say that this number continues to grow year over year. When we look at hotel performance for the last year, we see that average occupancy has been stabilizing post-pandemic, and that the average daily rate, like many things with inflation that we all see, has continued to rise. This has led to record-breaking years for Milledgeville, Baldwin County. Hotel motel tax is at an all-time high and has been very successful post-pandemic. We also see that short-term vacation rental continues to grow within our community. Our short-term rental properties average countywide about 80 within the city of Milledgeville. I believe you all have about 10 to 15 properties. They are occupied about 40% of the year, and they generate $2.2 million in room revenue throughout the year. This year, our office partnered. One of the things that we've really seen post-pandemic as demand has risen in our market is that we don't always have the hotel inventory that we need for the amount of business that actually wants to come here. So this year we partnered with a group that is internationally recognized. They're based in Atlanta, called HVS, to purchase a market study. And what came back from that, and we did share this with you all in summary earlier this year, but it showed us that we do indeed need additional hotel rooms in this community. It was recommended that more than 100 rooms are needed in this community, and that the market segment would be for upscale lodging. So with that, our consultant also looked at the best placement for that, and it was recommended that it be in downtown, so of course within city limits. We were really excited by that because we feel like especially our collegiate partners recognize this demand and have a lot of conversation with us around this. So in 2025, you'll see us working to really actively support additional lodging development within Milledgeville, Baldwin County. We also partner with a data firm called Arrivalist to help us know how healthy is our short-term vacation rental economy. And I'm happy to say that we're still ranked an A+ investment opportunity, meaning that we still have a lot of market share that can be absorbed here when it comes to short-term vacation rental. Although, as I'm sure you'll recognize, being a community that houses Lake Sinclair, we do have a lot of seasonality when it comes to our short-term vacation rental. Summertime is a really premier season with that. We certainly see that it softens outside of that summer season. So when we kind of look to the future and what we expect in terms of the lodging industry and what we see with the tourism community is that we are seeing a little bit of softening when it comes to travel. We see that inflation is definitely impacting American families, and we're seeing a slight slowing, especially in mid-scale markets like ours. So we know that travel is going to remain a priority for American families, but that budget-friendly travel is really going to be on the rise. So we'll lean a lot in the next year into talking about how Milledgeville is such a wonderful value destination compared to many of our competitive set. So just looking quickly, and you do each have an annual report that I laid out before you, as well as our 2024 Christmas ornament. This year, Sacred Heart Catholic Church celebrated its 150th anniversary. So you'll see that we gave a special recognition to that with this year's ornament. Just kind of recapping 10 quick things that we did this year that we were very proud of. We launched a new advertising campaign this year, and the creative advertising that we placed within markets reached more than 450,000 consumers across the Southeast. We market predominantly in Atlanta, Savannah, Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, and just the Southeast in general. In 2025, the ads that you see before you will roll out in the print publications that we partner with. This is just a quick snapshot of the type of places that we do market and advertise Milledgeville as a destination. Again, you'll see Savannah, Atlanta, we're picking up Florida market share. We have seen steady growth in our Florida market share year over year for the last 5 to 7 years, and we're really proud of that. Floridians stay longer than Georgia residents do. We also launched a food photography campaign. One thing we really recognized is Milledgeville is so blessed in locally owned businesses. You'll see we also gave you some treats from Avanti's in front of you. They're one business that we partner with regularly throughout the year. But this year we were able to bring 16 locally owned restaurants professional photography, and it is our goal for 2025. We have about 40 locally owned restaurants within the community. We would like to be able to do this for all 40. We are on the path forward towards that, but giving them professional photography helps the way that we market and promote them, and it helps them personally as well because it provides them a resource they may not necessarily be able to afford on their own. We also pioneered our very first video campaign this year. We partnered with YouTube to launch our first video, and it was viewed more than 77,000 times, just giving people a brand impression about Milledgeville, Baldwin County, and the beautiful assets that we have here within our community. So it was very successful, and we also have a tremendous amount of B-roll footage. So should the city ever need video footage for something, please tap us as a resource. We're glad to share with you what we captured. We also had our very first public relations agency partnership. We were very excited about this year. We earned more than 80 articles across the nation when it came to positively promoting Milledgeville and Baldwin County. Our biggest coup of the year was we actually were on the homepage of MSN, which we were so proud of. But we also got a lot of publications across the Southeast. That led to a lot of really wonderful buzz about our community and the amazing assets that we have here. We also visited Birmingham, Alabama, as well as Charlotte, North Carolina, to continue to build our brand presence in other southeastern destinations. We also have worked, I know we've talked about this in the past, we've worked a lot in the social influencer space. We certainly have seen that, traditional forms of media from even a decade ago have really diversified. And every quarter we try to collaborate with a social influencer. We had one here actually this last weekend focusing on how beautiful Milledgeville is at Christmas time. But we had a really successful social influencer partnership earlier this year out of Atlanta. We also partnered with Milledgeville's own Logan Crosby this fall. We're hoping to do more of that with local micro celebrities that live here within our community and being able to tap their hometown ties for 2025. And it's helping us to build our own social media presence, following, and brand awareness. Just looking at our metrics, we have over 271,000 people that come to us as a resource for information about this community. The number one place people are coming from on our website is actually Atlanta, Metro Atlanta. We also actively manage both a Facebook and Instagram page that are successful. In sales and services, one thing that we are very excited about this year is we introduced a new sales manager position. We were really proud of the fact that a lot of times in this community we're talking about workforce development and how do we retain all of this amazing young talent that comes here for school. And we were able to collaborate to retain a GC and SU alumna for our sales position. And she has been fantastic. She is going to be working in our student group market, helping us more actively recruit weddings that are destination weddings, a lot of sports programs, meetings, and also working within the film industry. We're really proud to say that we've established a lead tracking system, also a retention database so that we understand customers that have come here and how we can recruit them for the future to be here. Also a prospective client database. So if you know of anyone out there that you think would be a great client for us, please send it our way. And then we also launched our own LinkedIn account for the first time as a way to really be in the business to business space. So if you too are on LinkedIn, I encourage you to find us, visit Milledgeville online, and follow the good work that our sales team is doing there. We are focusing heavily on sports tourism in the year ahead. Our office and board of directors decided that we would set aside $20,000 to help secure overnight business of 20 hotel rooms or more. And with that, our $20,000 ended up generating more than $300,000 in local economic impact for the events that came here. You can see we did everything from fishing tournaments to cycling rides to focusing on things like golf. So we think there's a lot of opportunity when it comes to sports and investment in that space. We also were fortunate enough to be able to invest a little bit in destination infrastructure. You all have heard me talk for several years now that one of the goals in getting the trolley to be profit generating was that we wanted to be able to reinvest in Milledgeville, Baldwin County in a really positive way to grow the structure for the tourism industry. So this year we were able to partner with Bike Walk Baldwin to give money to help develop trails out at Baldwin County Parks and Recreation. So we're really excited about these continued opportunities. We're excited about doing something similarly, hopefully in the future with the city. And as we gear up for 2025, we are working right now with, and some of you have heard from me on this, but we are working with a group called the Huddle Up Group to create a sports tourism strategic plan for our organization so that we can best know where we can invest so that we have more and more opportunity for the future. We've also focused a lot on conversion. We know that with so many people visiting our website, we really want to be able to capture that traffic into actual overnight bookings. So we launched an online booking tool platform called Ripe. This is something similar, I'm sure we've all seen if we've gone on something like Priceline and you can book a hotel room on there. That allows people that same ability on our website. That's something that hotels have to pay for. It's a service somewhere like Priceline. We are not charging that as a service. We are doing this as a courtesy for our businesses that are invested here as a value add for them. So with that, we did not do it for this, but it came in really handy when it came to hurricane relief efforts. because it allowed us to see in real time what hotel rooms were available for those that had been displaced or those that were coming in to service those that had been displaced. So, you know, it was one of those things that it was a great investment for one reason, but it was a real blessing that we were able to use it in a timely way for something that was a natural disaster. And then film services, we are really proud of the fact that this year we have had some successful projects with the film industry. You know, it's been an interesting year with the writer's strike. There's not been a lot of film production that's taken place within the state of Georgia or really anywhere nationally. But we have had some success when it came to smaller independent projects. We shot a music video, and then thank you all for your help in shooting. We can't publicly name it now, but a special project that you all gave support for. Thank you. We appreciate it. That is going to play in January, and then we'll be able to talk about it. But we are really excited to be able to continue in this space. In fact, this Thursday, we do have several film scouts that are coming to tour our community, and we already have another set of film scouts lined up to come and tour our community in January. So we are hoping to bring more of that business to Milledgeville. While it was not this year, you know, we did collaborate with Netflix a couple of years ago, and that generated more than $300,000 in room night revenue for our hotel partners. So it has the ability to be really successful for our community. It's just working getting us there, and we are trying to go ahead and do that work. And then finally, I will conclude us with visitor services. We welcomed more than 10,000 people at our Welcome Center. We expanded trolley programming this year to include children's programs as well as a State House Square walking tour. And then we have done, you may have seen if you've been driving down Hancock Street, Dyer Construction has been with us for quite a while because we have been working on some bathroom remodel as well as a new ADA ramp, and that actually concluded last week. So they did a really nice job, and we are really glad to be able to make our space more accessible than ever before. We are also proud of the fact that we have been able to reinvest the revenues that the trolley generated into more than $40,000 worth of projects in our community. Everything from our lodging feasibility study to helping Lockerly and Lights expand, to the Walter B. Williams Trail development, to creative placemaking. If you've seen that beautiful mural on the back of Morning Grind as you drive into downtown, we were able to collaborate with them to make that happen. And then now our sports tourism strategic plan. So we plan to continue more of this. We want more and more people to take the trolley so that we can reinvest that money back in this community. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time this evening. Appreciate your partnership. We look forward to 2025 and the great year that we have ahead of us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rebecca.
Thank you for a great job that you're doing.
Anybody else? Thank you, Ms. Rebecca. All right, so tonight, we have a public hearing for ordinance O-2410-17 to allow special use of 2345 North Columbia Street for a Circle K convenience store and gas station. The procedure for conducting the zoning and planning hearing will be as follows. Once it has been determined that the public hearing has been properly posted and advertised, the clerk will read the proposed amendment to the Land Development Code. We will then hear a report from the staff, including the advisory decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Council will first hear from the applicant and anyone who wishes to speak in favor of the amendment. We will then hear from anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to the amendment. If anyone speaks in opposition to the amendment, we will then give the applicant an opportunity for rebuttal, but the rebuttal must be limited to the points or issues raised by the opposition. We will then give the opposition the opportunity to speak in rebuttal. They too must limit comments to the points or issues raised. Please make sure that before you speak, you come to the podium and give your name and address for the record. Anyone wishing to speak on the matter is encouraged to do so, but comments must be remain relevant, concise, and polite. Madam Clerk, has the public hearing been properly posted and advertised?
Yes.
I will ask the clerk to read ordinance O-2410-17 by caption.
Conduct a public hearing of an ordinance amending the Land Development Code to allow for special use located at 2345 North Columbia Street. This property is currently owned by MDM Services, Inc. and is zoned community commercial. The applicant desires a special use for a convenience store and gas station.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, I will recognize Ms. Sandra Witherspoon for her report.
Good evening. Now that I see that Mr. Olsman is ready to go, I won't be up here long. But the Planning and Zoning Commission did meet regarding this subject matter at its November 4th meeting. The main discussions that were brought out at that meeting concerned traffic at that location and safety dealing with the traffic at that location. Citizens felt that the traffic at this location would increase at an already congested area. Regarding the safety issue that was brought up, they were concerned about making a left-hand turn out of the property, either from the North Columbia Street side or the Dunlap Street side. They felt that they would be competing on the Dunlap Street side with people coming in and out of the Big Lot Parking Center, and for those turning into the Big Lot Shopping Center from that little left-hand turn there. Mr. Olsman eloquently spoke about these concerns that the citizens raised. The board asked questions of both Mr. Olsman, and after all the discussion was done, a vote was called upon, and at a vote of 4-1, the Planning and Zoning Commission denied the request for the special use. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sandra. Mr. Jordan, at the last meeting, you asked that I let Mr. Altman speak first, or did you want him to speak first tonight, or for me to run through the strip?
Mr. Olson is representing the applicant, so
Okay.
he would speak first.
Okay. All right, so I will remind anyone who wishes to speak to come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. So, Mr. Altman.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
That was a little jumping the gun before I wanted to do it.
That's okay, I noticed that.
Donnie Olsnam with Fryer and Olsnam PC here in town, 110 South Jefferson Street. I'm here speaking on behalf of the applicant for the zoning variance, special use variance for a proposed Circle K at the corner of Dunlap and North Columbia Street. And so I wanted to start out, and I've given you guys a printout of a slide presentation. And on page 2 of that printout, I wanted to start with the existing site, because I do think when you look at the request for the special use, it's important to see what you've got right now. And right now, we've got the old BB&T bank building location, which is a fairly large, I think approximately 2-acre tract that has been vacant for some time. And if you look at that site, what I would want to call council's attention to is right away, there are currently 4 existing entrances and exits onto the property. So whatever use that property has, it currently has 2 entrances and exits on Dunlap, and 2 entrances and exits on North Columbia Street. And the first benefit, I think, to granting the special use and allowing Circle K to construct there is that their proposed site plan would eliminate 2 of the entrances onto, 1 entrance onto Dunlap and 1 entrance onto North Columbia Street. And so that would invariably make the traffic situation at that intersection, which, look, I acknowledge, I work here every day, I travel through that intersection. At least once a day when I'm working here in town. Many days I travel through it multiple times. I understand that that is one of the heavier, if not the heaviest traveled intersection in Baldwin County. But Baldwin County is growing, and traffic is an issue that we deal with. And I would submit to council first and foremost that Circle K's plan makes that intersection better. If you look at the proposed plan that Circle K has, that is in, if you flip to the next page, I will show you, and I will discuss that some things that Circle K has actually modified and is actually willing to do. So if you look at the next page where we have the proposed Circle K site, again, the elimination of the two entrances and exits to the site from the site onto Dunlap and onto North Columbia Street. Secondly, Circle K is proposing now that we would limit the entrance and exit on the North Columbia Street entrance to right turn only. So right turn in, right turn out. And there's a separate sheet that I've given you guys that is actually what they would propose now as far as the entrance from North Columbia Street. The entrance onto Dunlap, the entrance and exit onto Dunlap would be a 3/4 entrance where you could only exit the property turning right onto Dunlap, no left turn exiting, but you would be able to enter the property both from a left turn from Dunlap or a right turn from Dunlap. And I would submit to council that this proposal makes that intersection better, makes that traffic better. The ordinance, the city ordinance has 7 objective criteria for special uses. As the clerk read, the area is currently zoned community commercial district, which according to the ordinance 3.4.9 says that community commercial district is established to provide a location for a full range of retail and office development serving the general needs of the community. A convenience store and gas station is one of those uses, and in fact it is specifically a permitted use with the special use. One of the things that could go there now without a special use, and there's actually too many of them to read, but just for example, I looked through, as a matter of right, the property owner could construct a hotel. As a matter of right, the property owner could put a funeral home. As a matter of right, the property owner could put a restaurant. As a matter of right, the property owner could construct a fast food restaurant. I would submit to council, the property's frankly probably big enough to put 2 fast food restaurants there. And I would submit that traffic would be worse with a traffic generator like a fast food restaurant or a funeral home at times than a convenience store or a gas station would be. The ordinance says that there are 7 objective criteria for special use. First is the proposed special use consistent with the stated purpose of the zoning district? And as I was discussing, yes, I mean this is exactly the kind of thing that is allowed with the special use okay in a area currently zoned community commercial. Second objective criteria is or will the type of street providing access to the use be adequate to serve the proposed special use? And then is or will the access into or out of the property be adequate to provide for traffic and pedestrian safety, the anticipated volume of traffic flow and access by emergency vehicles? And I understand that's the concern of the citizens that have come and spoken at the planning and zoning meetings have had. I would ask council to take a look at the traffic study that my clients had conducted of this area. And specifically, I would direct you to page 8. And the conclusion, I'm not going to bore you guys or anybody else here with reading the whole traffic study. But the conclusion of the traffic study is, the analysis shows that the proposed Circle K trips will warrant a westbound turn lane on Dunlap Road at the proposed driveway. And if you looked at the site plan, that is one thing, and I apologize, I failed to mention that, that we would propose, there's a striped area now where the traffic, there's not supposed to be cars. If that were converted into a left turn lane heading westbound on Dunlap, that would store 2 cars in a turn lane to turn left into the proposed Circle K. But again, the analysis shows the proposed Circle K trip will warrant a westbound turn lane on Dunlap at the proposed driveway. The existing hatch area on the Dunlap east of the driveway should convert to a westbound turn lane, accommodating a minimum storage for 2 vehicles. And then, most importantly, no other improvements are recommended. I'll also direct you to further up, the project is therefore not anticipated to result in issues on Dunlap between the signal and the driveway. So the traffic study by the traffic engineer that was conducted indicates that this is not going to increase traffic problem at this intersection. I would submit to council, traffic is what traffic is here. When I moved here to this area in 1999 is when I moved to this area. So some time ago, 25 years ago, I can just tell you anecdotally, traffic was not as bad then as it is now. But I also submit to council, traffic is a result of growth, and growth is a good thing. I am a small business owner here in Milledgeville, and I don't know another small business owner that doesn't think growth is a good thing. Growth is the economic engine that generates revenue for all of our small businesses in Milledgeville. And it's a good thing. And finally, I'll conclude with just real quick, the other objective criteria. I don't think that anybody has raised an issue as to the adequacy of the utilities, water, sewer, so forth. I mean, it's a commercial area on 441. We have a lot of restaurants. I don't think that is creating an issue. Or will refuse areas on the property be located or screened to protect others? The site plan clearly provides for that. I will tell you also that all the new Circle Ks that are built have shielded lights, LED lights that minimize or eliminate as much as possible any light pollution from those lights. So that would not be an issue. Will the hours and manner of operation, the final criteria, next to the last criteria, of the special use have adverse effects on the other properties? I would submit this is a commercial area. This is the main commercial strip, and the hours of operation of the Circle K are not going to adversely affect the community in that area in any way. Finally, will the height, size, and location of the buildings on the property be compatible with the neighboring properties? And I would submit to council that up and down that strip there are commercial buildings that are similar in size and height. This is not going to be anything differently. If council is to look at all the objective criteria, I would submit an argument can be made that this special use is in fact appropriate if the criteria are applied objectively. And then finally, I would ask council to consider if they don't allow this special use. And again, as I mentioned briefly before, as a matter of right, a lot of different businesses can go there. This property owner has a right to maximize this property and generate the highest and best use of this property. And one of the other things, again, that I mentioned is fast food. And I have a picture here of Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. This is not in any way saying anything bad about Chick-fil-A, but I've been in the line for Chick-fil-A, and I'm sure almost everybody here who's gone there has. If you go at lunch, there is extra traffic at that Chick-fil-A. Traffic extends out into the road. I would submit that the gas station that is right next to the Chick-fil-A, as an example, doesn't generate the traffic that a fast food restaurant does. And I also get gas at that Chevron that is there frequently at lunch. And I mean, anybody who goes and looks, you can tell the number of cars that are going to Chick-fil-A at breakfast time, at lunchtime, at dinner time is overwhelming. Consider, many more. I mean, probably 10, 20 times the number that are going into the convenience store. So I would submit to council and ask them to consider granting this special use and allowing Circle K to invest millions of dollars in Baldwin County to create probably 15 to 20 jobs in this community. We can always use more jobs in this community. And so I would submit to council that not only would this be good for just the look of that intersection, it would be good for the community as well. And certainly if there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them as best I can.
Mr. Olson, you mentioned that there would be striping required for this section of Dunlap. Is that something that the developers would be willing to assist the city with the cost of restriping this area?
It is.
And that's something that we would be able to get an agreement in place on in writing?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
this is on the proposed Circle K site. I see where you have a proposed left turn lane. Is that going down further from the driveway that's already there on this sheet here?
Yes, ma'am. I think that is in the, there is an area that currently is striped right now. So it's striped for traffic to kind of diverge and go over to the right. If you're heading west on Dunlap, you kind of have to go to the right a little bit,
Right.
and there's kind of not a
Because
triangle.
it look like it's over some, a little bit further from that driveway into the next property. I see the driveway there.
Yes, and I assume that these drawings are showing the existing road as it is. So I don't think there would be any encroachment either on the property owner on the right or the left of Dunlap. Because I believe that existing place in the middle that we are proposing to put a left turn lane is already there. It is just striped. And I think if you look on the next slide, which has the satellite aerial of it, you can see the area I'm talking about that is striped. The roadway is striped.
Mr. Griffith, did you have this to put up on the screen, or you didn't?
I don't have the
Okay.
presentation, no ma'am, but
Okay.
you can see the view from Google Earth that I just pulled up where that striped area is that Mr. Olson was
I
speaking
think what
of.
she's asking, Donnie, is if you're proposing a left turn into that property, it doesn't reach the entrance without coming into contact with the left turn into the adjacent property.
I would agree as it currently existing is laid out. You would have to turn left. You couldn't make, I would agree, you couldn't make a 90-degree turn from the end of the striped area. I would submit, Mr. Chambers, that currently, and while this property was an operating BB&T, people turned left all the time from Dunlap. They just didn't do it from the striped area.
I should have it on your screen then.
And again, we would propose making the exit onto Dunlap from the property a right turn on, as well as the exit from the property on North Columbia, making it a right turn only exit. And frankly, on North Columbia, a right turn entrance too. So you can only turn right into the property from North Columbia. You can't turn left coming southbound on North Columbia. And as you see from the satellite image, there are 2 entrances on North Columbia and 2 entrances on Dunlap, currently existing right now. So if another use, if there's another use developed there, they have 4 entryways, and as long as they don't have to seek the special use, they can use their existing entryways that have been there for as long as I have been living.
They had those were basically entranceways or exit ways, but I can assure you, if you've been here long as I have, you know that anybody that left that drive-through and tried to sit right there at that exit close to that intersection on Dunlap Road by that traffic light just ended up sitting there.
For a period of time.
And then
Certainly
they
if you
ended
wanted
up
to go
backing
left.
up, going around the building
Came
and
right
coming
turn
back
only
out
left
to
to fall.
a right turn on Dunlap Road. They just ended up sitting there because nobody, traffic constantly turning right off of Columbia Street and then everybody in that turning lane making that left turn. Nobody was coming out of that exit
yes,
or
ma'am.
going in it.
And I would agree wholeheartedly.
They ended up not using it anyway.
Well, I would agree wholeheartedly, in particular during the morning rush hour, evening rush hours, lunchtime, when the traffic is the heaviest.
Yeah.
But certainly there are many times in the evening, in the middle of the day, that it's not as bad. But
that was then. This is now. It's a whole different conversation.
no argument from me that we don't have more traffic in Baldwin County than we used to.
Traffic has increased, and I live in that area. It actually takes me where it should be 7 minutes for me to get to work, but it's actually 17 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
So for me,
And Ms. Mapp, I would submit that is independent of whether there is anything there. That is a result of growth.
but and I'm
That is
just
a
saying
result-
that is now because there's nothing there. But I'm saying to you, as we continue with the growth of the city, it's going to be very congested in that area.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I believe I've read in the paper that is the most traveled intersection in Baldwin County. But, that doesn't mean we should shut down the mall. That doesn't mean we should shut down the drugstore across the street. That doesn't mean we should shut down the big lots to decrease the traffic there.
And we're not trying to decrease. We're just looking at, like you said in your report, the safety
Mhm.
of our
Yes, ma'am.
individuals.
And I tell you, Mr. Olson, this has been just constantly in my mind, and people are constantly getting in touch with us ever since the first time, even when it was before it came back to planning and zoning again, it generated that. And so the other day, one day last week, I didn't have anything to do at that particular time, and I saw a lady sitting in the parking lot at that building. I think she had a table and some other things set up, and I think she was selling Christmas baskets, probably illegally, and I'm probably telling on her. But I came up Columbia Street, and I said, okay, so I want to see what this looks like, because as I passed by, I saw 2 cars turn off of Dunlap Road and into the parking area. So I made a left turn there at Office Depot and came back around opposite side of the street just to observe. And a couple of people stopped there. And then when they got ready to leave, they made a right turn onto Columbia Street, except that they decided that they were going to turn from over there across those 3 lanes. And the 3 lanes, I mean the turning lane and the 2 lanes that go straight up Columbia Street, and get into the left-hand turning lane to make a left onto Robertson Mill Road, which there were already 2 cars at the light waiting to turn left. So they had 2 lanes blocked.
Yes, ma'am.
As they turned out. They had 2 lanes blocked that were going straight, and just a portion of their car in the turning lane. And I watched people get in, blocked up traffic coming up. Other people that wanted to make that same left turn, they were just sitting right there. And then people were coming in trying to get into Wendy's and to turn left there too. And I thought, oh boy, this is a mess right here, right now. And that was probably about 1:30 in the afternoon. And so nobody could go up Columbia Street when the light changed until that person got on in the turning lane and made the left at Robertson, onto Robertson Mill Road. So my thinking was, as I sat there watching that, how in the world are you going to do that? I heard you say right turn out only onto Dunlap, only onto 441. But what do you do about the people that want to go that way? I mean, how often is that intersection going to be blocked with people coming out of that business?
Yes, ma'am. So I would ask you to take a look across the street to the drugstore.
Mm-hmm.
They have the same thing, where when you enter onto North Columbia, you know, you can go out the exit on Robertson Mill and take a right.
Yeah, but you're putting your life in your hand. I very
yes, ma'am.
seldom see people do that.
Yes, ma'am.
You're putting your life in
Yes,
your
ma'am.
hands.
But I'm saying you can go out that exit, okay, or you could turn right out there. I think it is a right, if my memory serves me right, leaving the drugstore across the way, you are not supposed to make a left because you would be crossing.
Can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Well, yeah.
Just can't.
People don't do it because you can't.
Well, traffic is there, you just
Because you
can't.
really can.
And I
And
would
that-
submit to council, though, you would have the same thing across the street. Now, there are things that they can do, and that's what I was trying to suggest, and maybe I've inartfully done it. But I think Circle K is proposing an entrance and an exit onto North Columbia, the limited one entrance and exit into the property, that it is actually, you can only turn right. You would have to go over a concrete triangle in the middle of their proposed entrance and exit in order to turn left going out. So you would be forced to take a right out onto North Columbia. And again, what I was suggesting to you is that the same thing can be done onto Dunlap, and you can only turn right out.
Right. But
So-
that was a right that person made when they were blocking those two lanes. It was a right. Only they wanted to go right and then go left. And so they had everything blocked.
Yes, ma'am.
Council, if you all will, let's let Mr. Olson finish his presentation so that we can go down the rest of the,
Yes, ma'am.
the,
And I think, Mayor, that I am finished. I was just entertaining
okay,
questions. So
okay.
just if there are
because
more questions, I'm happy to entertain
back
otherwise.
and, you know, let's go down because we're going to allow
Yes, ma'am.
those that want to speak
Absolutely.
in favor and in opposition as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. Are there others who would like to speak in favor of this amendment? Yes, ma'am. Come ahead and take the floor.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lindsay King. Sorry, I'm very nervous. I'm a senior director at Roseview. We are the owners of the property. You've probably seen signage with lemonade on the property from time to time. That's the name of our investment company. So we're one and the same. We own the property. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for allowing me here to speak today and kind of give you all some more background on how we got here, or, you know, what we'd like to do with the site, and, you know, just give you our perspective. So my team, we purchased properties similar to 2345 North Columbia Street as our business. Specifically, we're acquiring vacant or soon-to-be vacant standalone retail properties. And our objective is to find new tenants to occupy the properties. Generally, we acquire these properties in bulk. So we bought this property in the summer of 2022 from Truist Bank. It was a portfolio of 144 properties. Right from the start, I love this property. From a retail perspective, it really doesn't get much better than this property. It's a very large site. It's 1.78 acres. It is flat, rectangular, signalized intersection, 4 curb cuts. Really, the only thing that could make it better is a grocery store next door to it. Prior to acquiring the property, we looked at the market, the legal framework, influencing how we could use the property, and we felt pretty confidently that community commercial was a very favorable zoning district for us.
We don't bite. Slow down.
I know, I'm sorry. I always do this when I have to talk in public. So anyway, taking all of those factors into consideration, we worked through some preliminary concept plans as to how we thought we could best redevelop the site. And we came upon a few. First of all was a single tenant solution. We also had a layout that would look something like 2 quick service restaurants with drive-throughs side by side. I don't know if you've driven by the side and looked at how big it is, but it is a very large site. That entire empty parking area near Wendy's is our property. So there's a lot to do here. We also looked at a multi-tenant redevelopment opportunity where you just have one retail building with 3 to 4 tenants, depending on the space needs of those tenants. About 6 months into our marketing campaign, we began conversations with Circle K, and given their interests, we jumped all over that opportunity. You know, from a developer's perspective, if you can just negotiate one lease, do one tenant development, your life is a lot easier. So I was very excited to just do one lease. Of course, a convenience store and gas station was basically the only use that was not permitted by right in this district. So here we are. And, you know, from our perspective, we understand the traffic concerns. We are surprised by the amount of pushback here because we do feel like, you know, this use really is in line with the spirit of this zoning designation. I just had it up. It says, the community commercial district is established to provide a location for a full range of retail and office development serving the general needs of the community. The CC district is considered appropriate for heavier commercial uses that border on being more light industrial in nature and thus more appropriate for the HC or LI district. I think we would all agree this is a heavier commercial use. So, I mean, I think I understand the concerns about the traffic. I think the traffic report that Circle K provided to you does highlight that 76%, the vast majority of traffic that would be entering the site is pass-by traffic. So these are cars that are going right by the site, popping in, getting gas, popping out, not creating, you know, a lot of new traffic there, which would be a significantly less intensive traffic use than a lot of other uses we could put there. And, you know, obviously they're proposing closing curb cuts, fewer parking stalls. In fact, I think in the plan that we have, you know, we are cognizant of the residential buildings behind the property. And this is showing, I think, behind the building, there would no longer be any parking along that buffer. And there's up to a 50-foot landscape buffer between the convenience store and the homes, which is much larger than required. And let's see, what else? Yeah, and ultimately, you know, this is a high traffic commercial corridor. We think this is very consistent with the character of the area. You know, we're not trying to put this Circle K in your downtown historic district. This is a sort of retail establishment that would look right at home at this location. It provides essential services to residents, visitors, and complements the existing businesses without providing direct competition. And I obviously can't speak to the nuances of Circle K's site plan, but I will say, you know, this is a preliminary conceptual site plan. Circle K is completely aware that there will be a city review process. I'm sure there will be plenty of comments and reviews and changes that are made just to make sure everyone's comfortable with it when we get to that point. But I think that's it. But I really appreciate it. And I do hope ultimately you can support the project. And I didn't pass out, so that's good.
All right, is there anyone else here to speak in favor of? Is there anyone present who would like to speak in opposition to the amendment? Ms. Mary, come to the podium.
I'm too like her, I'm very nervous. My name is Suzanne Johnson Quinn. I was born and raised here in Milledgeville, Georgia. I had a lot of stuff written down that I wanted to say, but I'm going to try to keep it short. I understand where they're making it easy to get in to the Circle K, but no, it's going to be hard getting out. It's already that way. I don't care where we go. It's like I'm teaching my grandson, he's 20, he's driving. The golden rule, no left turns. No left turns. Grandma's car insurance, high enough as it is. No left turns. So the way this developed, and they basically, it's going to be even worse. And as this beautiful lady just told in her presentation, we're in the process of bringing people into our town. We want to show it off. She's doing an excellent job of it. We want to build motels here. I get where she's coming from, but that's going to bring in more traffic. I'm here, last time I talked, I'm here for our police officers. I'm here for our firefighters. I was married to a firefighter until he passed. I understand their pain. See, the city only sees the beginning of a wreck. They see the crunched up car. They see the ambulances coming. I've worn many, many badges in my career. One of them, I was a security supervisor in a hospital in Macon. I'm the one that saw the ending of the wrecks. I'm the one, I had to meet the ambulance as they came in. I'm the one that saw heads bashed open, brains running out, stomachs open, intestines running out. I'm the one that had to keep the family out of the room so that the patient could be treated, or the coroner had to come in and do his thing and get the pictures. I've been down that road. My son was in a bad wreck. I got that call. I know what it's like. If this Circle K is built there, we're already killing our fire officers and our police officers. I live at 1707 Cedarwood Road in Clarendon Woods. All day long, I hear sirens, siren after siren after siren, wreck after wreck. If this Circle K is allowed to build there, it's going to be worse. It was so bad on my husband as a firefighter having to see what he did. One morning I went to bed. I worked night shift. I went to bed a married woman. I woke up as a widow as a gun went off. Y'all don't understand what our firefighters go through. Y'all don't understand what they see. After a while, it gets more than they can take. I'm here again. I'm on their behalf. They're after money. I love Circle K. I eat at the Circle K every morning. Miss Peggy always has my breakfast waiting on me. It has nothing to do with the Circle K. I love y'all. But I love the citizens of this city more. And there comes a time when money, you just can't compare money with human lives. When you see a child brought in a wreck, when I was at the hospital security, and that child died because of this wreck, and I had to watch his mama fall on the floor and cry. After 5 years, I had enough of it. I couldn't take it. I had to say, I'm out of here. You just can't keep taking that kind of stuff. I don't know if y'all have ever had to experience it, and I pray to God if you haven't that you don't. But to even have to go to the hospital and see your own son with what I had to see from a wreck, I hope you never have to go through that. But this Circle K is just going to cause more wrecks. I don't care where you are in Baldwin, in that area. You cannot make a left turn. You have to go all the way down, go in somebody's parking lot, turn around, and come back up. Us old folks would eat at the Burger King every morning, and when I get ready to leave, I have to make the right turn, go turn around, and then head back to where I need to go. If we build this Circle K, it's just going to be more and more. I'm asking y'all, please, put human lives above money. Please, put the lives of these citizens above money. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Quinn. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in opposition? Are there any questions or comments from council? Oh, I'm sorry.
You got somebody.
I guess I need to look up.
Are there any questions for the lady?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Judy Greer, Judy Laxon Greer, and I live at 3759 Sussex Drive in Milledgeville. First of all, I want to thank the City Council for allowing the public to stand before you all and make comments on this Circle K issue. And secondly, I want to say I am like the previous speaker. I have nothing against Circle K. I often stop at the one on North Jefferson to get gas, so that's not why I'm here. My reason for being here is plain and simple. I do not think the extremely heavy traffic at the corner of Dunlap and Highway 441, also called North Columbia, is a good and safe place for a convenience store and a gas station. I attended and spoke at the Planning and Zoning meetings on March 4th, where we took a vote. Well, I didn't vote, but the Planning and Zoning people took a vote, and it was 3-2 against. Then again on November 4th, I went to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the vote that day was 4-1 against. I've lived here 52 years. I have gotten to know an awful lot of people, whether it's through my children and the public school they went to and then GMC, whether it's from being a Girl Scout leader, going to church on Sundays and Wednesday night suppers and meetings in between. I've served on a lot of committees. I'm a community volunteer. I had a chance after my second husband has passed away that maybe I'd move back to Ohio, and I can't do it. I like Milledgeville. I love it here. So I decided to start calling some of these people that I have known for 50 years or less, many of them not near that long. And I said, what do you think about Circle K planning to build a gas station and convenience store at the corner of Dunlap and 441? Now, these are some of the comments I've got. These are not what I've just made up. So I asked them that question, and this is some of what I was told. Why? Well, I would never stop there for gas because of the traffic problem. I get my gas at Walmart or Kroger. I live in the cottages, and it is already a nightmare getting out onto 441 or onto Dunlap. How in the world are you supposed to get out of there? Do the Circle K people have any idea how much traffic goes through that intersection each day? How is a fuel tanker truck going to get in and out of the gas station? What about the traffic on Dunlap? What about the people that live on Dunlap? Already the traffic on Dunlap is such that you all are talking about putting a roundabout at the North Jefferson Dunlap. Well, I come down North Jefferson from my house on Sussex, and I can't tell you the increase in traffic, and so that is a real concern for a lot of people. So I close with what I'm saying and hope that our city council will think about the older drivers, the teenage and college age drivers, and the folks coming in and through Milledgeville, going to Athens or Augusta or wherever, and will vote no on the Circle K building gas station and convenience store at this property. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Ms. Greer.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Good afternoon, Council. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to echo what was just said about the traffic on the Dunlap Drive area in relevance to building on Circle K at the intersection at North Columbia. I mean, I think having a gas station like that would probably be good for the city if it was.
Mr.
only
Thomas,
look-
did you state your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Michael Thomas. I was born here in Milledgeville, and I traveled to with my job, and I'm back in Milledgeville at this time. So, thank you. But what I was saying is, I think it would be good to have a development like this, but maybe in an area that would support it, that have more room and that you can get in and out, egress, and get inside into the building better than you would at that intersection. My concern would be the Dunlap Drive area, as was recently said, just the people who live there and the traffic that's increased in that area. And there's not too many cross streets in the Dunlap. It's just a community. It's not, you don't have like cross streets, so you do have blocks where people can use alternate ways to get in and out. And that's what's creating a lot of problem in that area. And let's talk about building the roundabout at Jefferson Street, which hopefully that'll help. But it's just a lot of traffic right now in development, and I don't see how this would help. And you're talking about a public safety issue too. There are people who do walk. I mean, not everybody drive. And how are they going to navigate that area, trying to get to some of the restaurants or just getting to the mall area? So those are the concerns too. Like I say, I like Circle K too. And I wish it was maybe they could consider putting this somewhere on the south side. There are a lot of areas at 441, like at Allen Memorial, it's nothing there. No gas stations or anything. So that might be a good location. But I just think this is just too congested, and it's not going to serve a good purpose, particularly for the people living in the Dunlap Drive area. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, are there any questions or comments from council?
I have a comment. When I first learned about this, it's been months ago, and it's been real heavy on my heart. And I've been trying to get outside the box and not look just one way. And for the last 3 weekends, I've actually gone to the site. Me and my mama just sitting and just watching. And I guess we did it for maybe one time for maybe about an hour. And traffic is just bad. It's bad. I went another time, and I guess I must have missed you, Mission Hosted. The lady was there selling Christmas items. And,
I'm gonna send code enforcement out there this weekend.
Watch out now. We got her in trouble. And then I went to Chipotle's and sat there for a minute with my niece. And I just have so much. I have a lot of doubt. And I'm the type of person that have doubt. It's just not good. I'm really trying to, and I appreciate your both of you all coming up, talking, giving your presentation. But I really have some serious concerns about the traffic. Traffic is really, really bad there and really heavy. It would be nice if y'all can find another location somewhere else. But thank you all. Thank you for coming.
Yes, you can.
I would just say,
Just step to the podium, ma'am, please.
I would just say the site is not going to sit there vacant, though. There will be another use that goes there. I'm not trying to be dramatic or scare anyone, but I think what we're trying to also express is that by right there are a lot of other uses that we would be able to put in there that would, I think, you could argue significantly have a traffic impact. I think when I personally get gas, I wait until I am on my last drop of gas. I will not even cross the street to go to a gas station. I have to have a gas station on the side of the road I'm driving at that looks safe, and that's where I'm going. I'm not going out of my way for my favorite gas station. So, from my perspective, I think, I understand traffic is scary, but I don't know, I think this is a good solution, for a tough corner. That's it.
What?
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Can I ask a question, please? While you're there?
Yeah.
Since you're the owner and developer.
They're actually going to be developing it themselves. But yes, we own it. It's a ground lease.
I understand that, but you own it
Yes,
currently.
yes.
What I'm looking at is not only what's standing in front of us, but what future holds. Have you looked and talked to adjacent property owners about the possibility of an access road on the backside of the property? And if so, and I think it may be doable, you're the one that says you've got 1.7 acres there. I also know what the property looks like on the backside of Wendy's and on the backside of KFC. The only possibility would be looking at on the backside of the pizza place, Little Caesars, and whether or not there's enough to be able to get back on the backside of it and to that traffic light, which would eliminate considerably your traffic problem.
So you're
whether
saying not just
perceived
adding
or real.
You're saying not adding just connectivity to the Wendy's, but expanding into the tree line behind our site?
That is correct.
Yeah. I think someone did approach us about potentially doing that. However, it is just not financially feasible to do that. I think it would be very difficult to recoup those costs for this project. Just would not make sense unless.
So you haven't looked at it?
I looked at the number I was quoted and ran the numbers and said, we can't do this. So that's what I looked at.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I should say it. I don't know if it was public, but I think it was like $1 million to purchase the land.
Okay.
And Mr. Chambers, I know that it was thrown out there at me and Ms. Shinholster, and the other concern was the neighborhood itself.
Right, now I understand that. I understand
Like that back line.
what that is possibly doing, especially with houses that butt up to that.
Right.
I understand that, and I think that's all I want to know is, has that even been looked at?
Yeah, and I mean,
as far as the property owners are concerned.
Right.
Another question I wanted to ask is, what are the hours of operation of Circle K? 24, that's what I anticipated. Okay.
But again, we have a significant landscape buffer. There's no parking along the tree line there. It'll be, I think the deepest buffer is about 50 feet, and then you have the building. So there'll be no cars passing behind the store toward the residential area, which I think is nice for those
If you've
people.
got a 50-foot buffer, you got enough room
Yes.
back there for a 24-foot access road.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. When your tanker comes in, you're saying that there's and I'm assuming you're talking about where people would make the if people made the left turn off of Dunlap Road into this entryway back here, and the one that go bring it, you went back, yeah. If people make that turn off of Dunlap, or make the left turn off of Dunlap into the property, then you've got that driveway there that goes around both exits, go towards both exits there on Columbia Street. So you're saying that no cars are gonna go that way, be able to go that way? Is that what you're saying in your proposal?
Thank y'all for your time. I'm Dean Vickers. I'm a real estate development manager for Circle K, and I live in Marietta, Georgia. So just to be clear, I'm not sure I followed you exactly, but the route of the tanker truck would be along Dunlap, and they would make the right-hand turn and circle around, or circle right to the road that is kind of parallel with Dunlap, and then make a shift south, if you will, fill the tanks there, and then come out and make a right back onto North Columbia. So it's a very standard route for fuel tankers. The fuel tankers come 24/7, so a lot of times they're not peak hours. A lot of times they're overnight. So, you know, it's a little unpredictable, but they are off hours quite often.
So if they turn right off of Columbia into one of those driveways, you're saying that they're not going to go back there towards that buffer of trees and come around to the tank?
They're going to turn off onto North Columbia down near the Wendy's. and go north on 441. That's how the tanker will leave the site.
Nickel. They're gonna leave the site by turning out of that driveway right by Wendy's
Yes, ma'am. Right where the cursor is.
Going north.
and going
You're
north.
making a
turn
go
right.
north.
So,
It's gonna be hard.
They'd have to merge into traffic.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
yeah, so they're gonna take up those, all three of those lanes then.
Because they gotta swing out to
Make,
get
yeah,
in.
to swing out to turn, make that right turn.
Yeah. But I would respectfully say that any fast food restaurants, food truck, bread truck, Coca-Cola truck would do the same. So, and Mr. Chambers, on your point about the hours, this would be a corporately owned and managed store, and there would be 24/7 security monitored off-site. So, and it would be very well lit.
And that,
So, but he still
That-
didn't answer my question as to what he said, so he's saying that where those trees are back there, no tanker would drive back that way.
No, because there won't be.
Yeah, there's no driveway.
There's a buffer behind the building and the site plan.
I saw that. I see the buffer back there now. They gonna bring the buffer in?
Yes.
Sorry, okay, if I can-
Yes, you can.
They're gonna get rid of that
Okay.
driveway? I saw that and I saw the driveway.
Still no way.
And our engineers, plan every site with this in mind, and have studied the turns and, have hundreds of thousands of experience on those.
Yeah, I see that, but then I'm also thinking about a tanker turning here, and you got two lanes of traffic, or coming up there and trying to make that right turn. I can't see it either way. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's also argued that Chipotle trucks, they're doing the same thing as well.
Mhm. Yeah, but they have a whole nother driveway, and then it's a wide, it's wider
Yeah, they
right
got
there
an
because
access.
they come, where they turn in
access
at, by between them and Panda
That's why I was
Express,
asking about
it's a
it.
lot wider, and then you don't have two-way traffic going there too, so that's not even a comparison.
Okay.
Let me ask, how many gas pumps are we looking at? How many stations?
I believe it is, it's 6. Yep,
6.
it's what we call our single stack. It's just a row of 6.
So 3 on each side?
No, sir.
Or 12?
No, just 6
Straight.
straight across.
So you can only come in on one side?
So, no. Yeah, others.
6 pumps,
Yeah, so
12
that could-
locations to be
Yes,
able to fill
correct.
at one time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nomenclature.
Ms. Griffin, do you have your pointer over there? You can show the audience where they're talking about.
Well, I don't have a pointer, but I had the cursor down here where they were talking about coming out on Columbia Street. If you see the cursor.
So
you know.
Mr. Griffin is gonna highlight it up here on the screen, ma'am. Ms. Greer.
Have that site presentation?
Ms. Greer,
No, I
he's
did not.
highlighting it up here for you on the screen.
Not to go on there.
Oh, okay.
Can you highlight it up there? You can't.
He doesn't have the site.
He doesn't have the. What's her name? Okay, so what you should have did, wait a minute, hold up, because you have to come up when we do the rebuttal. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on a second. Are you all done, Mr. Vickers?
Yeah,
You're done.
questions we can ask?
I think, council, you all have pretty much.
I think Donnie.
Yeah, do we still get another opportunity?
Yes,
Yeah.
let's move on
Okay.
and come back to that where you'll get another
Okay.
opportunity.
At the
I
end,
was at Miss,
we'll have opportunities to come back.
I think Miss Greer, I was about to ask, was there anybody else that want to speak in rebuttal? And Miss Kathy, that's where you should have came up when I asked that question. But no, come on. let's do this conversation the right way tonight. Go ahead.
I wasn't gonna mention it because I thought somebody would appear we were gonna mention it. But it's not just about that traffic. If anybody, I know a lot of people, like older people, they sleep at night. But if you go down to that Circle K, it's crime. If we want to try to prevent the crime scene for everything going on in Baldwin County, if you ride around the Circle K, I live off of North Jefferson Street. So that Circle K down there is like a hangout spot in 24 hours. I don't care if you got a game, anything, because our kids, our youth don't have anywhere to go. So they finding any place that they can hang out. So the kids that live in Dunlap area are either just traveling from out of town. That Circle K gonna be a hangout spot. It's gonna be, I hate to say it, but it's gonna end up to be a crime spot, because that's what we have, a serious problem with gangs and individuals that's, trying to find something to do. Because Baldwin County, we don't have a lot of things for our kids to do. So that's what we're trying to do. But we don't want our kids just hanging out. And I know, but just living on Jefferson Street, going down there, late at night or after a game, trying to get gas, you can't get in. You can't get in at that Circle K on North Jefferson Street at all. 'Cause it really only have about 4 pumps, and then the other one is closed. But the one that coming up here on North Jefferson Street, traffic is gonna be a problem, but it's gonna end up being a hangout spot for our teens and our teenagers. It's gonna be a definite. I know, I see it because I see it going on down there on North Jefferson, and I'm the one, like, I travel the area trying to see, like, how can you help our community. Some people just don't do that. They think that I'm like crazy for doing it, but I do ride Baldwin County and trying to see, like, what's going on, how can we fix problems. That's me. I'm trying to see how can we fix things that's going on, and I know for a fact that that location is going to be a hangout spot for our teens.
All right.
24-hour security is beneficial. Right now we have a 2-acre vacant bank ranch.
Okay, so. Okay, wait a minute. Let me bring this back in, because I think we're getting a little too far, too broad with this. I want to say, I believe Mr. Olson and Circle K, you all. Mr. Olson, okay. I want to say, I feel like we're kind of getting far out from the point of what was supposed to be made tonight, and that was the presentation, everybody asking their questions, the rebuttals, and everybody speaking in opposition of and in favor of. And so at this particular time, I'm going to say we were at the point of rebuttal, speaking in rebuttal to the opposition. We had got to that point, and we've gotten past that. Council has asked questions. We gave comments on in reference to how we thought or we feel some about the Circle K coming there. And we were down to the point of asking questions or comments from council. I had gotten to that point. So I'm going to say at this particular time, if there's no other evidence to be entered in, okay?
Mary, if I could just super briefly.
You have that right.
30 seconds. So I just would ask that council consider and be reminded of Circle K. This isn't a group that doesn't know what they're doing. In fact, I asked Mr. Vickers a moment ago, just because I didn't know these numbers, how many Circle K locations are there? 17,000. 7,000 in the United States alone. Many in, I am sorry, there are 17,000 Circle Ks in existence. These people know what they're doing, first off. There's 7,000 locations here in the United States, many of them in much bigger metropolitan areas. These people know what they're doing. They don't come with a site plan that isn't designed sufficient to handle the trucks that are going in and out. And I would state to council, this is a successful large corporation that knows what they're doing. They're not going to put a site if it is not feasible for traffic to get into and out of safely. Because realistically, if they did, they would lose money. And they're a successful corporation. They're not in the business of losing money. They know what they're doing. And while I understand these are valid concerns of the community, that traffic will increase, I think if council takes a look at the traffic study, the reality of it is it's negligible any increase. The reality of it is the plan Circle K has submitted to council that can still be modified to address other concerns, address those things so that we don't have an increased problem with this area. These people know what they're doing. That's why they have 17,000 locations. And I think council should consider that and consider their expertise in putting something here like this. They wouldn't be doing it if they didn't think that they could make this multi-million-dollar investment and make it work and make it work. Because if Circle K can't get customers in and out safely, their business doesn't work. They have 17,000 locations. They know what they're doing. Thank you.
Okay. So as the counsel for Circuit K, he just gave another rebuttal. Is there anybody else that wants to give another rebuttal? I'm going to open that up. Mr. Jordan, will I be within right, or should we just go
No,
ahead
ma'am,
and
that's,
close it out?
the rebuttal is for the applicant. There could be a Surrey rebuttal, but it'd have to be germane to the points made by the.
Okay. All right, so as I stated, we were down to the conclusion of the presentation of evidence, and he just gave his conclusion in it. Is there a motion?
Well, actually, Mayor, if I may, I'd like to address the council on this.
Mr. Reynolds, no, you don't have a few minutes to address council.
Well, we just completed rebuttal, and there's certainly an opportunity for. What I'd like to say at this point is that something is going to go on this corner. Something is going to be developed here. At the moment, you have a myriad of commercial uses that do not require any sort of special appearance before council. And you have 4 entrances and exits on this parcel. Multiple other businesses could go there without any improvements to the entrance and exits of this parcel. Our job as council is not necessarily to say no to development, but to guide development as it moves forward. And I think that what has been proposed here is pretty reasonable. The traffic isn't going anywhere, but Circle K's proposal will allow for right in, right out only with these 2 entrances. And I think that that provides a significant improvement to the area. I understand that there are concerns about whether or not this is going to draw traffic or pull traffic. I would submit that there are a lot of destinations on North Columbia Street that are a destination of interest. I have some business that I'm going to do there. There's something I want from there. Never in my life have I ever stopped at a gas station because I got to go to this gas station. As you know, this one, as the developer mentioned, the gas station is often a matter of what's closer and what's convenient. I think it's more likely that this will lead to folks already on that route stopping off. I don't think folks are going to drive out of their way to go to it, though. For that reason, I would submit that this is a reasonable plan, and I would urge council to consider this.
Okay. Anybody else on council before I move on? Because we will be voting on this tonight, and you can express your concerns through your vote. Anybody else want to make a comment?
The only other comment I want to make, and it was made earlier by Donnie, and he was talking about a piece of property over across the street, the Walgreen. And the difference in the 2 properties, they're both mirror, they're both corner, but on the one property that we're addressing tonight, it has traffic that backs up every time that light changes. It backs up on both sides that are accessed. That creates the traffic problem. It's not a creation of how many people are going to go in and out. It's a creation of how do you get in and out. That's something we've got to deal with no matter whether a Circle K goes in there or 5 Chick-fil-A's. It doesn't matter, but it's something that we have to deal with. The thing is it being dealt with? I'm a little bit concerned. You're talking about closing down 2 entrances. We have one entrance that is redundant, no matter what. You've got another entrance which you couldn't gain access to it if you needed to. So that's not anything being done to support the concerns that are there about accessing ingress, egress. This is what it's all about. I'm even concerned about a tanker coming down a city-owned street, Dunlap, and coming into our road where we already have a sign up that says no trucks allowed. 24-hour operation. I voice your concern about hanging out or something of that nature, but I also am concerned about the lighted area, at least with the fast food restaurants that you have. They shut down at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Most of their lighting comes down. Any of the houses that are adjacent or within the area, they don't have that all night long. Traffic study that was alluded to, but never really any numbers that came out of. Out of curiosity, I decided to get a GDOT traffic study, and right now that intersection is entertaining about 37,000 cars a day. It's estimated within a few years be almost 50,000. I just am concerned about what we have going in front of us right now. And that's all I've got to say.
All right, so this concludes the presentation of evidence in this public hearing. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we accept the findings of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Need a second?
Second.
I'll ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Please keep in mind that on that motion, a vote of aye is a vote to deny the zoning request, okay? A vote of no would be to approve the zoning request. We'd actually have to come back and have another vote.
All right, say that one more time.
Typically, we do the motion approving, and then you guys vote yes if you want to approve, no if you don't. The motion that's currently, and I don't know if Ms. Shinholster may want to restate that motion as approving a motion to approve the rezoning. But if you want to leave it like it is, it's just important to remember that she's made a motion that you accept the findings of the Planning and Zoning Commission, which was to deny the zoning. So you will be voting, a yes vote is to deny the zoning. A no vote is to approve the zoning. Just want to make sure, in the past, we've had some mix-ups on that. I just want to make sure everybody's clear on what you're voting for.
Repeat it one more time, Mr. Jordan, so we make sure we're understanding.
Yes, ma'am. The motion is to accept the findings of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and those findings were to deny the special use. So if you want to deny, if you're voting to deny the special use, you will be voting yes. If you are not wanting to accept the findings of the Planning and Zoning and you want the special use to be approved, you would vote no on this motion. And if this motion fails, then we will entertain another motion.
So Ms. Shinhouser says she's leaving her motion as it is.
Yes is to deny, no is to approve.
So, on this motion, to deny, to accept the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do I need to run through everybody's vote or just?
No, ma'am, just ask the clerk to
motion.
call the roll. Well, we have a.
We have a
well,
motion
Well, do
on
we
the
have a
table.
second? I don't know if we have a.
We did.
Yes,
Mr.
I
have
Chambers
a second.
seconded.
All right.
All right, so I'll ask, clerk, please call the roll.
She did too?
Dr. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Reynolds,
Nay.
Ms. Mapp,
Yes.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
So the motion is approved to accept the Planning and Zoning Commission to deny. At this time, we will move to the city manager's report, and I will recognize Mr. Griffith at this time.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to take just a quick minute to ask you all if on ordinance 2412-20, this is an ordinance to amend the budget. The budget amendment is necessary due to the reclassification of the procurement coordinator's position into a procurement manager / deputy clerk position. The deputy clerk position was created at the request of you all during my last performance evaluation. And as I have shared with all of you all at a few meetings and discussions, we're kind of putting a finance person back together with the city clerk's office to create that deputy clerk position. This would be a reclassification for a current employee, and the budget amendment spells that out in terms of where those funds will be amended to, both from a finance standpoint and from an executive standpoint for those two positions. The reason for the increase in wages and benefits and FICA and retirement contributions for finance is because when the position is reclassified, it goes to pay grade 21. The current incumbent is already making more than than step A and the pay grade 21 because of her longevity with the city. So the additional wages and benefits in the executive role or executive department would be taking care of what's required for the deputy clerk position. This is an ordinance which requires 2 readings. I'm requesting that if you all would to suspend the rules and approve this on the first reading so that our deputy clerk can start the state mandated clerk's training. Other than that, I think everything else is pretty straightforward. I'll answer questions if folks have them when you get to those resolutions, but I did want to ask for the possibility of suspending the rules in order to be able to approve that ordinance tonight. There is a new job description for the procurement manager deputy clerk position that was that I handed out when you all got here, so you can see what that does in terms of reclassification of the position. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin. Our public hearing was the only business for tonight, so we'll now consider the new business, which is a part of the agenda. I will ask the clerk to read ordinance O-2412-20 by caption as a first read.
An ordinance to amend the 2024-2025 annual operating budget of the city of Milledgeville.
As referenced, this is the first read, but based on the request made by the city manager's report, the chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules to adopt the ordinance with 1 reading.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
All right. Now that we have suspended the rules, is there a motion to adopt the ordinance as it is presented?
So moved.
Second?
Is there any discussion? I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
The budget amendment is adopted. I will ask the clerk to read Resolution R-2412-57 by caption.
To council, the December 24, 2024 regularly scheduled council meeting due to the designated Christmas holiday.
You have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'll ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
I'll ask the clerk to read Resolution R-2412-58 by caption.
A resolution to authorize a change order with Reeves Construction Company 2022-2024 LMED contract.
You have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
The motion is adopted. I will ask the clerk to read Resolution R-2412-59 by caption.
A resolution to authorize a change order with Peach State Construction Company, LLC, for stormwater drainage replacement and improvements.
You have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'll ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
I will ask the clerk to read Resolution R-2412-60 by caption.
To authorize a 2-year master services agreement with MCCI for Laserfish Cloud professional subscription and support.
You have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt. Second.
Is there any discussion? I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
The motion is adopted. I will ask the clerk to read Resolution R-2412-61 by caption.
A resolution authorizing a 6-month extension to the terms and condition as set forth in an agreement with Waste Management, Inc. for residential and commercial solid waste collection and disposable services.
You have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
The motion is adopted. As mentioned by the city manager in his report, we will vote tonight on the last batch of 2024 alcohol license renewals, following the voting process put into place in 2023. The individual applications are listed in the attachment to the resolution. I'll ask the clerk to read Resolution R-2412-62 by caption.
A resolution to approve the alcohol license renewal applications as set forth on the attached Exhibit A for the calendar year 2025.
You have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
The motion is adopted. We have one new appointment and one reappointment to approve tonight. Based on discussion during our last council meeting, I am nominating Larry Martin for an appointment to the Land Bank Authority of Milledgeville, Baldwin County. Is there a motion to confirm this nomination?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp,
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster,
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Our reappointment to consider tonight for the Development Authority of Milledgeville, Baldwin County, and based on the board's request, which is in your meeting packet, I would like to nominate Ms. Sharon Seymour for reappointment to that board. Is there a motion to confirm this nomination?
Move we approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye. Whew, that was record time.
No, we're not done yet, Mr.
hate to do
Mrs.
it.
Chambers,
I
but we
have a-
do have a need to go into closed session tonight to discuss a real estate matter. Do I hear a motion? Need a motion and a second.
Make a motion, we go into executive session to discuss a real estate matter.
Second.
I'll ask clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye.
All right, so at this time, we will go into closed session for a real estate matter, and then we'll return back to the dais once we're completed. Thank you. I'm gonna call the official session back to order at this particular time, and I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds,
Here.
Miss Mapp,
Here.
Ms. Shinholster,
Here.
Mr. Chambers.
Here.
We are officially back into open session. This concludes the items on the agenda. Does anyone on council have any questions or comments? I'm gonna start out first right quick and say I'm gonna wish everybody a happy and Merry Christmas. If I don't see you before then, hope I do. Be safe. I hope y'all stay well. As you all know, I'm recuperating from about just before Thanksgiving with RSV. So keep yourselves healthy. It's raining outside. Cover up. And anybody else want to say anything, or we going home?
I do. I want to say to Walter, congratulations again on your wedding, and I hope that you all enjoy your honeymoon travels.
Thank you.
And since I know that we won't see you until after the first of the year, y'all be safe.
He's actually gonna be at dinner soon.
Is he gonna be there Monday? Oh, okay.
I can make
Well,
dinner
y'all be
Monday.
safe. And I know you'll enjoy yourselves.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And
Ms.
find your way back from Europe.
We'll do our best.
Is that it? Anybody else? All right, if
Merry
not.
Christmas.
Happy holidays.
All right, so if not, that being all, we stand adjourned.